शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धा विश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धाः स्वान्तः स्थमेश्वरम्।
Human personality is divided in 5 parts: body, senses, mind, intellect, and aham. The senses are more abstract than body, mind is more abstract than senses, intellect is more abstract than mind, and aham is further more abstract than intellect. Then there is a soul, a spirit, which is the subtlest and invisible. Lord Shiva in Sri Ramcharitmanas says, Vishay Karan Surjeev Sameta Sakal Ek Te Ek Sacheta Sabkar Param Prakashak Joi Ram Anadhi Avad Pasoi. Vishay, the external objects, Karan stands for senses, Sur for mind, Jeev for intellect, and then that spirit, which was nothing but that all-pervading God residing in us, he says that that spirit is responsible for the activity in body and senses, for the perceptions in mind, and for the wisdom and thinking in the intellect. Now, these 5 bodies we will call can be further grouped in 3. They are known as the physical body, which includes the senses, the mind, and then the intellect, which includes the plane of aham. So 3 bodies in Yoga Sutra have been said to be the Sthul Sharir, Sukshma Sharir, and Karan Sharir, or we call it the physical body and the astral body. The astral body that includes the mind and the intellect. Now, the location of mind in these 5 bodies is very important. 2 are below and 2 are above that. So, mind is influencing 2 bodies below it and 2 bodies above it. And that is why it is said that your life is that what you think, what you feel, what your mind is. If you are distressed, if you are in hell, if every day is a breaking day for you, then it is your mind. Then it is your mind responsible. What you are keeping in your mind, how you feel, how you think. And if you are always in blissful state, then also it is your mind. Now the mind has to be looked into very carefully, examined, and then to be made purified. For purification of mind, various techniques, processes, sadhanas, they have been given by the scriptures, by almost all religious philosophies. The meditation is very important to purify this mind because it cleanses. Meditation is for cleansing the subconscious level of the mind, which is the real place where the imprints of previous lives even they are stored, like a computer chip. Whatever it has happened in this life, good or bad, and whatever it happened in previous lives, if you believe in previous lives, then all those incidents, have been very microscopically, they have been recorded on the subconscious level of the mind. So through meditation, we get clean this house. That is the one important part of the sadhana, the technique, the process. The second is practicing selfless service. So all these scriptures, they are advising for selfless service to clean this mind. More the mind is attached, the more distressed you are. So cleansing, you have to practice the detachment, selfless service. Then the third, the positive thinking, which includes forgiveness, compassion, humility, releasing, and so on and so forth. Now the mind is also responsible for the glands situated in various parts of the body, which excrete the juices which comes to the stomach and other parts in the intestinal tract, which gets mixed with the food which you eat. If the mind is distressed, not purified, then the glands, the juices which they shall excrete, that becomes of poor quality, sometimes poisonous. So the food which you are eating, which is to be digested and to be circulated to all your body, to all the cells of your body, now that becomes even poisonous. I remember a case in America, a newly born child who was taking only mother's milk died because of the poison, food poisoning. Doctors examined and they reported. But then the mother replied that nobody gave the child anything to eat or to drink. It was only in her lap, and he took only the mother's milk. Then the doctors examined the mom, and they found that because of the heavy distressed mind with extreme of anger, because of the fighting with her husband, the glands, they excreted the juices, and the milk which came out, you see, that became poisonous. So it was because of the mind responsible. Now mind is the master of the senses. Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says that mind is the 11th sense. The senses are extrovert in nature. You hear some words against you, some criticism, some allegations. You get hurt. Now your mind is involved in those words every time. Your sleep is gone. And then after some times you shall be having the hypertensions. Your blood pressures may go up and down. It was all because of the mind, because of those words spoken against you. Then there may be different situations, sometimes favorable to your mind, sometimes they are not. And if they are not, then mind further becomes distressed, unhappy, distressed. And then again the body responds to that state of mind. You may be under heavy depression because of the adversities which are outside, of course, not in your mind. But you have taken all the incidences in your mind. Maybe these are the words or these are the situations. And you have created a bondage between your mind to the external changes. So the mind, which is above the senses, is getting all the feedback from the senses. And because the senses are extrovert in nature, thus they have pulled out the mind to the external changes. Now if the mind is somehow can be made divine, maybe through practicing meditation, maybe through practicing selfless service, or maybe through positive thinking, then the mind becomes the controller of the senses. then the senses, they do not make any impact to your mind. Your ear may listen the words against you, but then the mind is always resting in the eternal happiness, in the eternal bliss. Like a deep, big ocean, where whatever it goes, it sinks down in the surface, doesn't make any turbulence in that ocean. Your mind becomes turbulent. You then start crying, and you create hell for yourself. And then the unfortunate part is that for all your this creation, you blame others. You watch something against you. Now then you make an imprint in your mind. And then again, you are heavily distressed. You have also created a lot of imagination for future, known as fears, the negative imaginations. Now they are also have been very microscopically, they have been imprinted in your subconscious level, like a computer chip has recorded everything very minutely. Now then, that fear is also creating havoc in your personality. If the mind is divine through selfless service, then certainly the effect of the external changes through the senses will not be so much, and then it can be reduced to any extent. The model is, say for example, I quote Christ, who was being nailed, and he was saying, "Forgive them, I do not know what they are doing." Ram's wife was kidnapped by Ravan, and he was still trying to, for the well-being of Ravan, how the Ravan can change. He was sending messengers after messengers, not to kill Ravan, but to make him improved. And he really loved. Loving to enemy is the another, is the extreme of the state of mind, the purified, the divine mind. So the mind now has two major impurities. Number one, the desires, and number two, the attachments. Let us examine what the desires are and how they can create hell. In desires, you want to have something. You want to have something. Now the desires, they start from the senses, through your mind, through your intellect. You create desires, but they rest in your mind. The mind is a storehouse of the desires. For example, you may be listening about some watch, the wristwatch, which has a television developed in Japan. So you feel while driving the car, you can watch the cricket match on your television. You develop a desire in your mind. You listen, something new has come up, then you develop a desire. You see your friend wearing a very nice necklace. Now you develop a desire to have a better necklace than that. Whenever you find that you lack something and others they are having something, then it is a normal mind that will develop a desire. Only the saints, the developed mind, they will not have the desires depending on the others' achievements. So these desires, they are developed by the senses, by the mind itself. Mind may keep on feel. Every time mind feels. So keep on feeling, I do not have that, I do not have that, I do not have that, I want that, I want that, I want that. Sometimes the intellect is responsible for developing the desires in mind. The wisdom says, I must have it. And then the logic shall stand for that. I need this, I need it, I need that. So various types of the desires, either through senses or through mind or through logic, through your wisdom. The best desires are through the wisdom. And particularly when the wisdom is developed. If the wisdom is not developed, then again the desires developed through intellect, through wisdom, they are the chaotic. For example, Ravan, the evil incarnation, he had 11 heads. It is symbolism for 10 senses, and one above all these 10 senses, the mind. These 10 senses are 5 the senses of action and 5 the senses of knowledge. The senses of action are hand, feet, speech, reproductive organs, and cleansing organs. And 5 senses of knowledge are eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and the skin. So the mind is above all these 10 senses. But if the mind is not being governed by the wisdom, and then if the wisdom is the real true wisdom, the divine wisdom, then the chaos has to happen in life. But if the wisdom is fully developed, you can bifurcate what is true and what is untrue. You can bifurcate where your mind is getting involved. You can watch yourself, keeping your mind outside you, and then you locate where it is going, how much, say, negativity it has created, and they all have been satisfied through your logic. Now your logic, is it a proper logic? Is it a divine logic? So if this seriatim is observed, that the wisdom is divine, it is controlling the mind, and if the mind is divine, it is controlling the senses, then you create heaven for yourself. Now, this could be done through practicing detachment, selfless service. The more mind is attached, the more desires the mind has, the more chaos it creates. Now, the attachments are with the objects of which you created the desires. You get the object, and then you are attached to that object. And if that object is taken from you, then you are again heavily distressed. So the desires and attachments both are responsible for the chaos in your life. And the selfless practicing can certainly improve your mind.
We keep on getting the questions from various aspirants regarding the principles of Tap Seva Sumiran. These questions are added in the related episode with their answers and explanations by Pujya Shri Akhileshji. Sundar Prakash Chopra from London, UK wants to know, can the secretion of juices from various glands be improved by purification of mind?
Yes, if the mind is purified, the glands shall secrete better juices. The quality of juices depends on the state of mind. If the mind is under tension, fear, anger, filled with jealousies, resentments, criticisms, then naturally the juices coming out from the glands, they shall not be of better quality. So the more purified mind is, the better the juices are. And that is why it is said that you are not supposed to eat in a hurry. It is said that you are not supposed to take meals under anger. And it is better if you remember God before eating, then you also find that remembrance of God shall become the mind better, purified, and then the secretion of juices from various glands, that will also be improved.
Tap Seva Sumiran is a unique lifestyle for holistic development of human personality at physical, vital, mental, intellectual and spiritual planes. If you too want to change your life through Tap Seva Sumiran, you are welcome at our ashram or write at Badri Narayan Sevagram, Choti Panchli, Bagpat Marg, Meerut.